Before we get started, I want to disclose that this video is not meant to advise people on issues regarding mental health. This is purely meant as scripted comedy. Now, let's get on with the video. My first time experiencing anime was when I was 4 years old watching Inuyasha with my older sister. Cable wasn't the place where it all even started. My mom bought the first season on iTunes, and my sister would watch it in secret while I would watch her watch the show behind the couch. I would always brush along the blinds, and my sister would find me and chew me out for spying on her. It's one of my fondest memories and gave anime a secret romantic feeling of something more special than anything else in the world. It went from feudal-era Japan to Shugochara very fast. My sister had the volumes in her bookshelf, and I remember them being the first literary content I ever consumed. There was a scene in Volume 2 where the main character looked down her own shirt to see the size of her chest. It made me feel so close to her. I was also reminded of myself and my own changing body, and it was like having friends who were in the beginning of their lives changing forever. I was in my own beginning too. I'm now 19 and I still love anime. It's a huge key part of me to love what I'm offered, and some anime has made my whole world shift. Now, when I mean anime, I'm not really talking about just animated television. I want to refer to movies and manga. I don't know how manhwa can fit into this, but there are times when manhwa is 90% of the content I'm consuming. I don't want to go into how I think manhwa is kind of taking over the anime space, but I just know they are totally different in too many ways to describe. It's really a feeling thing, which is so undescribable. Like, I was Josh Safdie's news when he wrote Uncut Gems. Do you know what I mean? Favorite animes. Now, for sure, Fruits Basket. It's really pivotal in the beginning of my anime journey, point blank period. Something my incredible, amazing therapist and I talk about is the culture with toxic positivity. And I think Fruits Basket fighting sadness and depression with toxic positivity is the best fantasy I could ever ask for. If you've never heard of Fruits Basket, then I kind of ruined the story for you, which I'm not sorry about because the whole manga finished in 2007/2009, so get with the times, Maria. ¿Quién? ¿Como yo? Yes, you, Maria? Get with it! Anyway, Fruits Basket follows Toru Honda, a 16-year-old high school student who is orphaned after her mother is killed in a car accident. We follow Yuki, Shigure, and Kyo, who take Toru into their home in exchange for friendship and cleaning around the house. She meets the whole family throughout the story while befriending and accepting all of them for who they are. I've always equated Toru as the perfect person, but more recently realized how her behavior with total acceptance comes from her own feelings of rejection and her own toxic positivity that inspires others to follow. Now, I've been talking about toxic positivity so much that I think I should give a definition for it. So, toxic positivity, or sometimes positive toxicity, is a dysfunctional approach to emotional management that happens when people do not fully acknowledge negative emotions, particularly anger and sadness. Okay, maybe Toru isn't toxic, and maybe I just am really sensitive. I still admire her and equate her with superheroes, but it took me a really long time to understand how she could be so important to me. Okay, now let's move on to my next favorite anime, which came out pretty recently. Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. And can I just say, the author for this series wrote Ojojojo, and if any Americans are watching, then maybe y'all will remember how that series was in every Barnes & Noble back in 2015. What a time. But to be honest, never read it. I do love Chi-Chi, which I have to warn is for adults and involves many big boobies. But Kobayashi is my favorite, so let's talk about her. Kobayashi is a corporate professional who stumbles into a dragon maid named Toru. And just in case y'all ask, I don't love these shows because they both have someone named Toru. Anyway, it's a slice of life filled with beautiful dragon ladies, and Fafnir, who live normally in a world they are totally strangers to. Dragons who were once in the grips of war playing dodgeball is the only thing I want to watch in my free time. And let's not forget the glorious queer tension between Toru and Kobayashi. A more true duo than any. But yeah, it deserves the biggest plaque for always having my heart. Dub and sub. But the dub is lit. It's lit! Miss Kobayashi! What is it, Toru? I've made you dinner, Miss Kobayashi. I made it with my love for you. Ah. Thank you, Toru. Now for my last favorite, which has caught my heart with its adorable hands. Ascendance of a Bookworm. That's it. Point blank period. Again. It's a genius show, and it's so much smarter than the other two shows, and nobody can change my mind. We follow 5-year-old Maid, who lives in a medieval fantasy world. She previously lived as Urano, who lived as a single librarian in modern-day Japan. One key factor to Maid is that she's always getting sick. And in Maid's new world, people don't have access to books, which breaks her heart because reading was once her only joy. I have had the most imponderable joy of watching Maid make a career in order to follow her dreams. The wholesome hero's journey just swoons me. Okay, I'm gonna go unscripted for this last bit, but I didn't really write anything about Ascendance of a Bookworm of why I like it so much, but can I just say I've rewatched it 3 times, and it's just a girl living life, and acclimating, and just being a girl boss. That's all I really want. I just need that to be clear. I just need girl bosses. And they need to be wholesome and vibey and like just trying to live. Like just living is so entertaining and admirable. Does that make sense? My last favorite show that I didn't mention, that I'm not really going to go into, but it kind of fits, is Lovely Complex. Lovely Complex is so good. It is a comedy. It is the kind of comedy that I always want to talk about, but I never really know how to say that I like it, because you'll have people talk to you and be like, what's your favorite comedy? And in my mind, I'm like, I don't know what my favorite comedy is, because I'm not a Will Ferrell girl. So I have to think of something that isn't like super iconic. And the only iconic thing I can think of is like Step Brothers, White Chicks, Bridesmaids. None of them are my thing. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you had a good one, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.